Hello lovelies and welcome to today's video. So I'm doing an art journal page today using some Colour Blast by Arty supplies, and this video is to go with my Arty blog post that I will link to in the description below as well. So I'm starting with some of the colour sprays, and I've used 3 different sprays, Caribbean, Sapphire and Lagoon, and I've also got some Violet out as well. I've sprayed the 3 of them together very generously, and I've smushed my page together. So this, first off, blends the ink together and also gives me an extra page to work on. Looking at it now, I wish I had have added a bit more colour variation to it. These colours blended together far too seamlessly and it just looks like one colour. But then I've brought in some of that purple, some of that violet. So what I did there is I sprayed through my stencil. This is from the Untangled collection by the lovely Tanya. It is a fabulous collection, and the stencil is called Boxed In. In my blog post, I have linked to all of the products I've used, and I've sprayed the violet through it. Now, something I like to do is once I've sprayed through a stencil, you've got a lot of ink left on top of that stencil. So I flip it over and use it as a stamp. So that way I get a different look from my stencil and I'm not wasting any ink. And I just love the variation it gives on the background. So because I didn't have a lot of colour variation in the background, I felt a black border, well, a border of any kind would probably look really good, especially in like a bold colour like this. I just thought it would be a really good bold border, and I'm using the A4 stencil. Now, it had all these really cool wavy lines, and I thought, oh, I can draw through it or I can paint through it. In the end, I decided to do both. So I'm using some black gesso to give me the outline, and then I'm going to go in with a white gel pen. And, well, first I attempt to go in with a Posca pen. So I don't know what it is with me and white Posca pens, but they just don't work as well as they should. I have better luck with the gel pens than I do with white Posca pens. Every other colour Posca pen, I love, have no problem with. But white, I don't know what it is about me and white Posca paint pens. So I start off with my fine tip white Posca paint pen, and I'm just going to doodle all over this board. I'm just going to trace it, copy around it. Oh, no, I'm not. First, I'm going to go in with my Feud Ball pen. I love this pen. I've now got 3 because my son stole one and then I ordered a replacement too. And I killed one, actually. No, I didn't kill it. I used it. The first time I've ever used up a pen. This pen is fantastic. It is thicker and has a broader tip, but it's beautiful and it works on anything. So I'm using this. I've just traced around some of those boxes just to give my background some interest. And then I'm going to go over my border with my white paint pen. It works, it does, but it's just not popping as much as I wanted it to. So I'm going around all of it. Then I decided to go around the little circles in between as well. It's just not what I wanted. It wasn't what I imagined in my head. But like I said, me and white paint pens, Posca paint pens, I don't know what it is. I really don't. So in the end, I go back with a jelly roll pen, the white in the 10 mil. Well, there's a 5, an 8 and a 10. I don't know if they're mil or what, but I like the 10. The 10 is my favourite. And that's what I decided to go back in with, and you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference majorly of how much more crisp and bright that white is. And sometimes when I want to add white to a page, that's what I want. I want a really bright, bold white. And yeah, the paint pen just wasn't doing it for me. But you'll see the difference. You'll see what I mean. So once I bring in the jelly pen, see the difference? It's just so much more bolder and you can notice it. And that's what I really wanted. So I just basically redo everything I've just done with my jelly roll pen. And then I'm going to start on some stamping. So there's a really cool stamp set with this range. So everything I've used is from the Untangled collection. And this is a red rubber stamp set. It's an older collection, but yeah, it's still really cool. So basically what I've done is I've gone through some of my old kits and I found this collection and decided to play with it. I love the patterns and the designs, so that's why I thought I'd give it a go in my art journal. So I'm going in with some of the stamps. The ink pad I'm using is an archival ink. It's waterproof when it's dry, but it wasn't black enough for me. I think I would have had better luck using paint. I think my ink pad's on the way out. I think I need to get a new one. But this stamp that I'm using now, I really love, but it just wasn't enough. So in the end, what you'll see me do is I actually go over this with my black feud ball pen, and that really makes a big difference and really makes it pop. So yeah, I'm really happy that I did that. It was a little bit more time consuming, but it really gave me what I was looking for. I just really love that stamp. It just, my ink pad was letting me down. So for the focal image, or the focal quote on my page, I'm using this this stencil, and the quote is "Untangle your mind." And looking at that phrase, that quote, I loved it. I really did. So after I go through, I've sped it up a little bit more because it did take me a little bit of time. After I have drawn over this design here, I'm going to go back in with more stamping, and the whole point was to make this look really busy and a big jumble. I thought it really made that quote mean more by having just a mess, a big messy busy background with these stamps. So yeah, I do go back in intentionally, and then what I'm doing, or what I'm in my head, I'm using this design here that I'm tracing with pen because it's the only one I do go over. I'm using that to sort of draw your eye into my quote and sort of focus that part of the page, if that makes sense. So it goes with that whole busy tangled mess, and it gives you something bold to really focus on. So that was where my mind was at when I did this. So I know it does look like a hot mess in the background, but it is actually intentional today. But see, as you can see, just by going over that design with my black pen really makes it pop and makes it more noticeable, and it's a really great pattern, so I'm really glad I did that. And then I'm going over my quote just with my white gel pen again, just to sort of give it like a bit of definition, a bit of shadow. And I think that's actually it for the page. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will link to the blog post as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon. Bye for now.